Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. I've done several videos over the course of many years on why the King James Version is the most accurate translation, best translation, could never really be reproduced and all this in the English language. And so we're going to go into today about some issues of updating the King James. And it's constantly tried, simplified King James, KJV ER, KJV 3, KJV 2, Millennium King James, I think King James 2000, just on and so forth, the MEV, the Literal Standard Version. And here's some problems people run into once you start to update the King James. The first thing is the scholarship problem. We all know the history of Queen Elizabeth starting the Regius professorships at Westminster, Oxford, Cambridge, because at that time, having a perfect Bible was a political issue, because the Catholics would say if you don't have a perfect Bible, then you have to have the tradition of the Catholic Church to know how to interpret it. And so there was no expense. Regius means regal, which is kingly, and even though she was a queen, but royal, and had to have these professorships. So no expense spared, that the best and the brightest in the kingdom would go study Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Aramaic, cognate languages, Arabic, Syriac, all of the extant literature, all of the extant Greek literature, not just biblical, but everything that was humanly possible. Why did the Hebrews translate certain things the way they did? Textual criticism, on and so forth. The extraordinary influx of Textus Receptus manuscripts, Byzantine manuscripts, coming from the fall of Constantinople in 1453, moving westward into Europe and the United Kingdom, and the Erasmian tradition, Tyndalian tradition, and martyr tradition, John Rogers, and on and on. And so you have all of this for decades that they're saying, okay, we've got to come up with a perfect Bible. They'd come out with a bishop's Bible, and then the Catholic scholarship around the world would retort it. They'd rip it to shreds. And then they would retort the retort and say, here's the way it's going to be. So then you finally, you come to King James Bible, 7 years, greatest scholars ever in these particular fields, full-time work, and on and so forth. People say, well, they have computers now. Well, computers, garbage in, garbage out. I know there's algorithms. They basically don't think for themselves. It's as Berlinski says, the rise of the algorithm and that type thing. And so it was just an amazing thing. And then the dramatic cross-checking system where each word was gone over 70 times by the greatest scholars. The discussion at the end where they went word by word. Was there any things, Ward Allen stuff of finding the bishop's Bible, the wide margin bishop's Bible that they would use to write down any contrary readings and things. And then the notes by John Boyce, who had read the New Testament through in Hebrew, not Greek, Hebrew. When he was 12, he went to college studying under Andrew Downes, many times studying Greek from 4 in the morning to 8 in the evening, and many cohorts. So, it was just second language. Lancelot Andrews, interpreter general of Babylon, so to speak, and on and so forth. So you run into that you have pseudo-scholars in many instances today that are just pygmies as far as the scholarship of that day. And it wasn't a life or death thing. It wasn't gunpowder plots. It wasn't life and death. It wasn't Spanish armadas. It's just let's just do it and translate it and, maybe make some royalties off of it kind of thing. Not everybody's translating the Bible for royalties, but there is an issue. And so that's a huge problem, is we don't have the scholarship, the time, the money to do it. And if it's already been perfectly right, they said, the King James translators and the translator reader, that they were trying to make a perfect Bible, a translation, as they put it, not to be justly accepted against. And they wrote in ways saying, yeah, this is going to last, through eternity, because when they were talking about words, that they're like, we don't want total words fall out of the English language, on and on. So that's why we use synonyms. So that's the very first thing. And the second thing is, like, bringing in these and thous. That was not King James English. That was Elizabethan English, going out of favor at the time of the King James. But it's Hebrew, Greek, singular, plural distinctions. Thee, thou, thine is singular. Ye, you, yours is plural. And so the minute you do a New King James, you automatically throw out accuracy, because you didn't keep thee, thou, thine. That's not, and people, it's kind of humorous in a way. People use that as like some criticism. And I was like, criticism? No, that's singular, plural distinctions, just as there was in the original languages. It's accuracy. Italicized words, same thing. But so thee, thou, thine, ye, you, yours, what do you do with that problem? How do you communicate singular plurals in the English language without some system like that? And so the italicized words are that way. And then you come to archaic words, and of course there's several hundred. The besom of destruction and all this. Prevent means something different. Maybe let in certain instances means something different of archaic words. But it's also very simple. I mean, you can turn to any place in the King James Bible, and it's almost all one-syllable words unless it's proper names. So, I mean, I just turn at random to James 1. This is a paragraph Bible, so I'm somewhere around verse 6. And it says, for, so one syllable, 3 letters. For he, one syllable, 2 letters. That, one syllable, 4 letters. Wavereth, that's 3 syllables. Ooh, big word. Is, one syllable, 2 letters. Like, one syllable, 4 letters. A, one syllable, 1 letter. Wave, one syllable, 4 letters. Of, one syllable, 2 letters. The, one syllable, 3 letters. See, one syllable, 3 letters. Driven, 2 syllables, 6 letters. With, one syllable, 4 letters. The, one syllable, 3 letters. Wind, one syllable, 4 letters. And, one syllable, 3 letters. Tossed, one syllable, 6 letters. For, let not that man think. I mean, so for, one syllable, let not that man think that he shall. And after the 10th word, we have a 2-syllable word, receive, and anything of the Lord. So you can see, I mean, you can do this at random anywhere in the Bible. If it's not proper names, it's going to be very simple to use. And so you run into some of these issues, some of these problems. You run into sectarian issues, which people would argue the King James had some sectarianism in as well. Done videos on answering that question, that type thing. And so accuracy, scholarship, italicized words, singular, plural distinctions, ensuring ease of read, most words being singular, single syllable words. Overall, it's well under 2 syllables for word. I've done videos showing exactly, like it's like 1.31 syllables in the Old Testament, 1.47 syllables on average in the New Testament. I think Waite did some great stuff on that in the language of King James Bible. So anyhow, these are some of the problems facing us when we try to update something that's already perfect. So, like a Schofield Bible, or even like the Thomas Nelson giant print Bibles, at the end of verse references may define archaic words at the end of verse references or in center column references. Something like that's good. The Defined Bible by Waite, great idea. But updating the whole thing, you got into trouble. You get into trouble in Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven, singular, and the earth. Almost every translation is going to do that plurally. King James did that singularly, heaven, based on Hebrew. People say, no, it's plural in Hebrew. Well, then why do all the Hebrews, basically translations, translate as singular? There's a reason for that. And even in their day, people would criticize them and they'd say, well, we considered those 3 considerations you brought out, but here's 7 considerations, 9 considerations, 11 considerations, giving the weight to the other translation in various parts of the Bible. So just believe the word. Don't change your sword in the midst of the battle. And here at the time of the Antichrist and evil men and seducers waxing worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived, I try to change the Bible now. God bless you. We love you. Talk with you later. Leave us a 5-star review. No, hit a thumbs up and check out our other videos. We'll see you. Bye.